Let's stay in the Big Ten. Go to the game we've been kind of hinting at all day. You said, imagine that. You're imagining a potential upset here. Indiana going to play at Autzen, play Oregon. Oregon Ducks favored by 7.5 points. The quarterback matchup of the year with Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. Like, these are the quarterbacks that are rising up the NFL mock drafts. We see them. We've talked about them. They do so much that is good. They make really good decisions. They process the game. They understand their offenses that they're in. Talked a lot about Dante Moore sitting last year, which I think is just important to underscore over and over again. He picked Oregon knowing that Dillon Gabriel was going to be the starting quarterback last year. So he's in that room with Will Stein, learning the offense. Will Stein told me a couple weeks ago, like, this is the first quarterback he's had for 2 years, and we didn't even really see him last year. But it's just a different understanding of the offense, all of the different potential explosive players in it. And then we saw what the defense can do, those edge guys against Penn State. The flip side is Indiana. You about 10 minutes ago, you just went through all of their pros and how they're built, how they're coached. It's a really interesting game. I'm expecting some offensive fireworks, even though we've got some very sound and good defensive players on this field as well. But I mean, you agree, right? Like, there's not going to be a better quarterback matchup this year based on the quarterbacks that have actually produced.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that we would get a better one. I think both of these guys have played phenomenally. I think it's a little bit different how they get it done. Like, Dante Moore is a guy, when I look at him throw the ball, where I feel like he has every throw available to him. He's got a fast ball. He can throw it with touch. He knows how to layer passes. He can throw the deep ball. And Mendoza, to me, like, I don't know if he has every single one of those throws, but it's his efficiency and his ability to process and the way that he can get the ball out, to me, that's as impressive as anybody in the sport right now. So I'm excited to see that. I will say, too, I think these are two of the best coaches in America going up against one another. I think they both respect how you have to win in the margins of the game, special teams, when you go for it, when you don't, all those different things. They're both a little bit they're both kind of psychopaths, and I say that with full respect to either one of them. I love coaches that are psychos, but they both get this look in their eye, and you question, if they weren't coaching football, what would they be doing, and how legal is that thing that they would be doing? And again, this is not disrespect. I love that about them. And that means both of their teams are going to be ready. So I'm excited for this one.
Psychopaths complimentary, right? Like, that's what
Yes.
this is what
Like,
this
I
is how we
want to
would
make
write.
sure that we are being clear here. I love psycho coaches. This is a compliment, but both of them are a little bit not right
Yeah.
up top, and that's perfectly
Well,
fine.
we I think we've made it clear. This pod is a fan of both Dan Lanning and Kurt Signetti,
Yes,
in their
big fans.
craziness. And I think they're fans of each other. I mean, that's something that I've been getting this week as they've talked about this matchup and this game. Kurt Signetti passed. I mean, have you noticed this? People are calling it like the Gundy test of how do you talk about Oregon's roster and the money that they spent. As long as you don't say like, oh, well, they're spending all the money and we're not. As long as you say they've got a great roster, great personnel, you pass the Gundy test. You don't give the bulletin board material for
Can't do it.
Oregon. Oregon always finds some way to find some chip on the shoulder. Indiana does too, by the way,
Yes.
despite being a top 10 team now. This game is going to be really fun. A couple of stats just to back up what we were saying about the quarterbacks. Mendoza and Moore have combined for 30 touchdown passes against 2 interceptions this season. Mendoza has 3 games with at least 4 touchdown passes, no picks, which is the most in FBS. Moore has 4 games with 3 or more scores and 0 turnovers, also the most nationally. Thank you to our pals over at CBS Sports for that statistic. Give me a pick, Joshua Perry, in this game. You going to stick with your imagine that? Are you going to take Indiana here?
No, I was using my imagination completely. I'm going with Oregon here. They're playing at home, which that environment we all know is one of the best in college football. I also think that this is one of those games where the personnel starts to edge out just a little bit for the Oregon side. I think they can win it by 10 points. So I would like to see, I think I'm going with the cover here as well, but I think Oregon's going to be the winner in this one.
I think Oregon's going to win, but I'm going to take Indiana with the points.
Fair enough.
Part of what we have seen with them against the big opponents, the best opponents that they played last year, some of those games were closer or it looked closer than it felt necessarily, right? When they played Ohio State and Notre Dame. But this is also a team that just crushed Illinois in their first big game of this year. And we learned a lot about both teams. This is a different talent level than Illinois, but does feel like what we learned about last year's team and what they did, like they're building off of it. The quarterback is better. Like the team in the program are better. I feel like they can close that gap a little bit, maybe not beat, a top 3 team, but stay in the game more than they did last year, which those were like 10-point losses or, kind of that type of range. I think they can keep this one close. I think they'll be ready for the environment as well. So I'm taking Oregon to win, but I'm taking Indiana to cover 7.5 points.